If you sell precision ag, VisionWorks can help you increase your sales and also eliminate blind spots for your customers. VisionWorks would like to show you how you can increase camera durability, resolution, and lower your dealer cost.
I'm Tim Norris, CEO of Ag-Infotech, and was really trying to figure out how we could implement some type of CRM tool or just some type of business management tool that would allow us to track everything that's going on with a customer from the time we've quoted till the time we finish the sale, to service quotes, to soil sampling information, pretty much anything that happens with that grower. We wanted to be able to track it. And it didn't really seem like there was anything that was designed specifically for a business like ours, especially when you got into the soil sampling part. We looked at several different tools, and it kind of came to the realization that if we're going to utilize some of these tools, we're probably going to have to utilize 2 or 3 different tools. And I really didn't like the idea of having to, some things in this program, some things over here, and some things here, and really not knowing where to go to find that. But the need that we had for it was, as our business started to grow, I started to soon realize that, one salesperson would have a quote on his computer, I'd have a quote for a grower on my computer, maybe, third salesman would come in and make a quote for the same grower on another computer. It all depends on who was in here when they came. As long as you're here where there's a network, you could maybe pull that file off or something and find it, or you could go to Google Drive, or you could go to Dropbox, which we utilize Dropbox quite a bit. But the problem is with some of those, you can't always get to them, and sometimes the information gets lost or it gets changed, and then you have no record of it. So what we really wanted to do is come up with a program in-house that would allow us to do all this. So we decided that about 3 years ago that we were going to develop a tool on our own that met all the needs, and it would be built and designed exactly the way we wanted it. So I found a local developer in town, Damian Clem from VivioSoft, and I called him up. He came out to our farm. We had a meeting. Basically said, yeah, we can do what you're wanting to do. It's not going to be cheap, but we can do it. And in the long run, you'll end up with something that you like, and it's designed specifically for your business. So we created a product. We put a name with it. We called it Agri-Vault. And I kind of told him that, let's build this like we're going to sell it. Maybe we never will, but if we do get a product that's built that we feel that we can sell, at least we don't have to rebuild it again to have different permissions in there so that we can use it, elsewhere. So what we've done is we've came up with a management tool, basically that by grower we can go in and we can create a quote, and it's going to stay in this proposal graph until we decide either the grower comes in and he marks that he accepts the quote, or that one of our salespeople say the grower accepted the quote. As soon as that quote's accepted, it moves over here to the pick list column. So right now we can see we have 10 orders totaling $54,491. We have, at that point, Carla goes and sees if we have the product. If we have the product, then it gets moved to pick list. If we don't have the product, she goes in and puts a note on there that she ordered it. And as soon as that product gets here, it gets staged and put in the pick list. Or I'm sorry, work orders. As soon as it's in the work order column, our installers know they can go ahead and schedule with the growers to go ahead and get the installs done. So right now we currently have 30 work orders totaling $212,000. We've got 26 that are completed, totaling $177,000 that Carla needs to bill here before the end of the month. So again, it kind of allows us to keep track of everything that's going on with our precision equipment side of business. Then we have soil test request graph. So over here you can actually go in, enter the soil test. We have a export out of SMS. So in about 3 minutes I can have a grower's fields all exported out of SMS, and I can import them into Agri-Vault within a 3-minute window. So it's real fast, works quite well. The grower can go in and say, I want these 20 fields and farms soil sampled, and then it gets moved to our ordered column. As soon as the grower or one of our salespeople say that this field is ready, it moves over to the ready column. If you said, or the grower said, that he wants that field to be soil sampled in the fall, starting September 15th, he's going to get emails saying, hey, you have these fields that you want to have soil sampled, are any of them harvested? All he has to do is click that these ones are harvested, it'll move over, and then our samplers will know to go out and do the sampling. So just kind of a complete process that we can go through everything from start to finish. We also have a service request portion on Agri-Vault. So if there's a service issue, if it arises, we can tag it to a customer. It goes in this service request, and it sits in that open until it's assigned to a person. As soon as it's assigned to a person, it gets put in progress. If we have to order parts, then the parts get ordered. And right now we have 35 service requests in progress, and usually if you go in there and look, probably most all of those say that it's low priority and we can get, just get to it when you're in the area. If they're high priority, you can sort them out by priority level. And in the spring, those high priority ones, you want to see all of those gone pretty much at the end of the day. So it allows our service techs to get out there, log on, and try to see where we are. And then again, order parts and then completed. So pretty much everything starts in here and it gets billed from here, basically. We don't actually do the bill in here, but as soon as we print it out and then say it's billed, then Carla knows to go and bill it. At the bottom, we have our agenda. So it syncs with Google Calendar. So all our calendars are on it. So I can go up here to the calendar page and I can filter this out by everybody, and I can look at all my calendars. So here's everybody that we have, and then everybody's calendar. So just kind of another nice way that you can go in and look at your data, or you can just go back to your own calendar. Basically, we developed this with the intentions of, if we ever wanted to resell it, we could. Last year we did a pilot program where we actually sold it to 3 different dealerships. So one dealership's been using it for about a year, and the other 2 have been using it for the fall season. Everybody that's used it seems to really like it and speak highly of it. And we've just got a couple new users that signed up last week, and we've got a couple other potential people to use it here that we've got to do some webinars for next week as well. So we're pretty excited. So that means if all of those go, then we'll have, somewhere around 7 users. So different companies. So that would be fantastic. But as it sits right now, we do have a good solid 5. So we're pretty pleased with that. It's not near enough to pay for it, but it definitely helps. And if we can just help other dealerships become more efficient, that's worth a lot to me as well. Another piece that we haven't talked about is the data analysis part. So another thing I wanted to talk about is Yield Crawler. The Yield Crawler is actually an online data analysis tool. You can come in, we basically compile all the data in SMS, and then we download that data as a CSV file into Agri-Vault. So it's not a map related file at all. It's just basically a big spreadsheet or big database. And then we can go in and we can query through the data much faster than what we can in others. So let's do a yield by soil type report. Let's look at all years. We have 3 years worth of yield data in here. And we're going to look at all crop types. And let's just look at corn. Let's just look at corn. And then we hit filter. So as soon as we hit filter, that report popped up. Okay, so it shows all the soil types that we have. We've got 909 acres worth of crop here, and we have over here it tells us what the soil type is. It tells us our normalized yield. It tells us how many acres we have. Because we're looking at multiple years worth of data, we have normalized yield instead of actual yield. It shows how many acres, it shows the crop, and then our confidence level. So anything that's green has a good confidence level. You can come over here and look at the score. It tells us that it has about an average CV. It's given us quite a few points because we didn't look at any of the data points within the headland. There's no notes on it. The area is within 37% of the mean, so we got a little deduction on points there, but then we only looked at across one management level on the field, so we got a good confidence level there. If you want to see where the data came from, here's 209 acres. Let's take a look at that. And right there's where the data came from the field. Come over here and you want to look at a yield by pH. So it's going to go out, and for corn it's going to look at the yield by pH. So again, that report happens very quickly. It shows our 0 to 5 was 107% of average, with the best looking at the ideal range 6.5 to 6.8. You can take a look at it in a bar graph format, and as you see that when the pH increases, the yield goes up. When you get above that 6.8, you get to a 7, and a 7.2, the yield starts to drop back off again. We can do the same thing with yield by P, yield by K. So here's a yield by P. It takes a little longer to refresh on this side with the graph, but as you see here, 15 pounds per acre, 20 pounds per acre, 33 pounds per acre, 44 pounds per acre. We see a nice steady increase. Then as we get over that 50 pounds per acre, it starts to decrease as well. You can also look at a scatter plot and see where the data came from. So basically this graph is showing us our yield on the left-hand side and our phosphorus on the right-hand side. So you can see we had a little bit of phosphorus in the 120 range, a little bit in the 100, but most of our phosphate fell between that 50 and the 10 pounds per acre. So we would expect this to be lower here where the phosphorus is lower, and you see a nice steady increase in that data as it goes up and gets higher until you start to get above 50, and then it starts to level off and actually even go down. But this just is a way that a grower can look at his data interactively without having to buy any software. And we really think this is going to be the key to Agri-Vault, is if companies start using this for the data. We've currently got probably 20-some thousand acres of data in here, maybe a little more. I haven't looked lately, but somewhere between 20 and 30, and my goal would be to have 30 or 40 this winter. So we're pretty excited.